beekeepers, Jenna here with Mann Lake. I'm standing in front of the Minnesota wood plant with Nathan, our Director of Manufacturing. We're going to take you on a little tour today.
Welcome to our Minnesota plant. If you think about what we do here in Minnesota, it really comes down to wax, wood, and feeds. Today we're going to look at our wood plant and that portion of it. So if we turn around here, we'll start out with our auto box. So we get US supplied Ponderosa pine in from a couple different vendors. We'll run that through our dovetail to put the fingers, the handholds, the rabbet in, and then we'll assemble that into the, today we're running supers, but I would also run the deeps and the different variations in here, all locally sourced in the US, put together here. Then we'll grade it to ensure that it meets our different standards for commercial and budget, and if there'd be any quality fallout, we would address that. One of our highest volume items are frames, and we're very proud of our US sourced Ponderosa pine frames that we produce. This equipment here produces the top bar, bottom bar, and end bars that you see here, and you see some top bars that are complete that will either go into our frame lines or be shipped out into kits. A lot of you like to assemble your own kits and buy the knockdown components and put them together, and those components are ready for that as well. We rely on a couple different measures for quality. We've got vision systems that are automatically checking the top bars and bottom bars as they come through. And then also our operators are trained on grading standards to ensure that we maintain our high quality standards. The first step in our box production is we have blanks that come in, they're already pre-cut. They'll go through the dovetail and get the fingers and the handholds put in. They're graded before they even get put into the dovetail to see if they're going to be budget, commercial, select, and they'll complete that, run them through, and then they'll head either into kits, knockdown kits, or be assembled into boxes by the auto box station. This equipment right here is doing the end bars for the frames. So we start out with the blank that comes in, and out of each blank we're actually getting 3 end bars. So the equipment is going to slice this into 3 different pieces. It's going to mill the end bar, and then as it comes out, our operators are going to grade these and ensure that they meet our quality standards. Then they'll get packaged, and again, they'll either go into knockdown kits, which we'll send out to you when you order them so you can assemble them, or they'll run through our frame lines, which we'll see here in a minute, and assemble them into finished frames. So one thing that we're really proud of here at Mann Lake is we can handle the volume for our commercial beekeepers, but we also handle the complexity and the uniqueness. So this is the inkjet station, so if we get an order in, we can inkjet the top of the top bars for the frames. That allows the different beekeepers to keep track of the year, of the specific, if they want the name of the beekeeper and the year, so if they know that every 3 years or every 4 years we want to make sure that those frames are replaced. So that's a unique capability that we have at Mann Lake. It goes along with also branding the hives themselves. It's 2 unique ways to allow the beekeepers to track their products and then also track the year that was put into service.
As well as identify and protect against theft, because that is a fairly common thing in the commercial beekeeping world, so it allows us to do some customization to help them out.
So this equipment here is where we're actually melting wax. So we take wax in from our commercial beekeepers, we'll melt that down, and then we'll apply different thicknesses to the right cell. And to ensure the quality, we'll actually load the right cell to ensure that it's product, it's got the right level, the right thickness of wax that you're expecting on your foundation. At Mann Lake, for the boxes, we really offer 4 different final coatings. We'll sell just the raw Ponderosa pine box. We'll green treat, which you can see the inside of this box was green treated. Paint, standard white, but then also custom colors for our commercial beekeepers. And then wax dip, which has really been popular this year when we launched that. Pretty specific wax coating that we put on that ensures the longevity of the hive. So this one here you can see was green treat with paint on the top. to provide maximum life for the hive out in use. So this is where the frames all come together. So we walked through and we saw we were making the top bar, bottom bar, and end bars, where we start with the blank and we actually machine those out. We saw where we were melting wax and spraying that on our foundation. On our frame lines, which we have 2 in Minnesota, 2 in Kentucky, they all come together. And there's a couple key things here. We're very specific on how we dispense our glue and the placement of the glue, placement of the staples. As they come off the line, the operators are looking at and grading that, and then we'll pull a set number and we'll actually pull them apart and make sure that we've got the pull force that we're looking for, so that when you get the frame, has a long life, as you're extracting your honey, just everything that the frame sees, that it can withstand that and provide years of service to you. So when we think about quality control of the frames, it starts with the glue placement, and we've got very specific technology to dispense the glue specifically. Staple placement, staple depth, as they're coming off, first our graders are inspecting all of that to ensure it's correct. As they get put into bundles, then our quality control team is selecting at least 10% of these to do an additional check on. If they find any issues, they would look at the entire pallet full. If not, they would pass it and it would go into shipment. And then on top of that, we'll pull another percentage and actually do pull tests, where we'll actually destroy the frame, pull it apart to make sure that we meet our minimum standards for pull force.
All right, so we know the beehive is not just boxes and frames. What else do we do here in Minnesota?
Yeah, so our walkthrough, we really saw the high volume components. We saw the boxes, the frames, highest volume items that we make to support the beekeepers. Beyond that, there's hundreds of different products that we make that support the hobbyists. Example, the hot box here, but it could be some of the apiary covers, bottom board, top board, inner covers, are all done by our hand assembly operation. Items that we're making to support the beekeepers. So here, Dennis, one of our employees, is actually spot welding. So this is the element. Here will actually spot weld, so the element gets sandwiched in the 2 halves of the knife, so they're going to spot weld that to hold the knife together. Over here we've got drill presses where we're actually doing work on the handles, the wood handles for the pierce knives. So these 4 operations really feed the components back in. They'll finish the knives, electrically test them, thermal test them to make sure that they reach the specific temperature, and then they'll go to the last step, which is polishing, and then it's ready to ship to the customer. Here's a selection of the Pierce products that we produce here in Minnesota. 2 of our newest products are comb cutters. So you would use this. You'd start with buying our thin, natural wax honeycomb foundation. And then once it's full of honey, you can actually cut out the sections of the comb. A lot of people will sell that at farmers market, and you have 2 different sizes here for that. Queen grafting tool, that if you're into raising or rearing queens, one of the smaller but critical products. A scraper that we sell, variety of customers, from gas stations to people if they're removing wallpaper from their house, but it's a popular item. And then probably what Pierce is most familiar for is the uncapping knives, and you see a couple different variations. So this would be probably a bit more of a standard, 110 ability to adjust the temperature with the set screw on the bottom. If you want a bit more of a control, we sell one that has the external thermostat, so you can adjust the temperature. And then there's even a steam version. So if you'd rather have steam, you can connect your steam input and output here for uncapping. Another Pierce product is a gripper to grip the frames and pull them out of your hive. Also unique is we offer these knives to the European and the Australian market, so you can see the different plugs to support our customers overseas. So the natural wax foundation that you would use in your frames if you're going to do comb honey, we actually produce that in our Kentucky plant in Clarkston, Kentucky. We'll actually take the wax back in from our commercial beekeepers, we'll melt it down, filter it, run it through the sheeter, actually emboss it, put the wires that are needed to actually hold it to the frames, and then it's ready to sell to our customers.
So Nathan, who built all these machines? Where did they all come from?
That's a great question, Jenna. One thing that's unique about Mann Lake is we have the capabilities with our maintenance team to design, build, modify, and maintain all of our own equipment. It allows us to reduce lead time as we're launching new products. If we do have an equipment failure, it allows us to repair it and get back up and running. And especially critical in peak season, in our busy season, to ensure that we wouldn't have like a long equipment outage and impact deliveries. But just a tremendous maintenance team supporting all of our different shifts, 3D printing, CNC, really a majority of the equipment that we saw on the tour was designed, built in-house by our Mann Lake maintenance team.
So if you're looking for the premier beekeeping supplier, choose Mann Lake. We're American made right here in Hackensack, Minnesota. So you're supporting small towns. We employ a lot of people, and it's really important to know that the people that we employ here, they're not just working here and making your beekeeping supplies. A lot of the people that are here are also beekeepers. So when you choose Mann Lake, you are choosing beekeeping supplies made by beekeepers for beekeepers.
Hello everyone, Nathan Hansen. I'm the Director of Manufacturing here at Mann Lake. And the question was, why buy from Mann Lake? So I've been here just coming up on 1 year, joined, and I'll be honest, when I joined, I didn't really know anything about beekeeping. And it has been just a tremendous journey. The passion of our employees across the United States to make the highest quality product in the United States, to provide the best level of service to all of you, and to continually learn. So myself, I attended a class at the University of Minnesota to learn more about beekeeping. I'm excited to have bees next year and continually to learn each and every day about the industry, the hobby, and how to make our products better. So know that when you buy from Mann Lake, every one of our hundreds of employees are coming to work each day to provide the best service, the best quality, American-made products for each of you to ensure that you have the most success with your beekeeping hobby.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nathan. Hope you all enjoyed the tour.